Who is Jesse DL? Recording. It's recording now. It's the time. Now, whoever Jesse DL is, here we go, recording now.
Okay.
We're live on Facebook. Before we, just pronounce your name to everyone.
Koi ANUNTA.
Okay, so we get it, Koi. Now, I was looking at your thing. You went to Jacobi, you studied medicine?
Yeah, so I'm actually a doctor. I went to Yale undergrad and then University of Buffalo Medical School.
Wow. Oh, and you chose to be a singer. Now, I saw where it said Jacobi Hospital. Now, I come from the Bronx.
Oh, no, it's the Jacobs School of Medicine at the University of
I thought
Buffalo.
it said Jacobi.
Jacobs. He was a neurologist. He was a pretty famous neurologist from Buffalo.
Yeah, well, in the Bronx is Jacobi Hospital and Einstein.
Oh, yeah, Albert Einstein College of Medicine's in the Bronx. Yeah, that's a great school.
In the Bronx, yeah, I know there was. You had Jacobi Hospital, Van Etten, and Einstein. So what tells you what type of medicine do you do?
Well, I actually didn't decide to practice. Hi, Jesse, by the way.
Oh, I saw there was a Jessie. I didn't know who it was.
yeah, she's a friend on Facebook. Hello.
Pretty dog.
Yeah. um, so I was an English major in college, and then when I went to medical school, I'd already decided that I was going to be maybe a surgeon. So I did a lot of surgery rotations, which were pretty intense. I did plastic surgery at Harvard in my 4th year and liver transplant at UCLA in my 4th year as well. And
Wow.
then at that point, that's when I realized I didn't want to live the rest of my life like that. Like it was just, it's like a 38-hour at a time commitment. Like you start work at 5 a.m., you work the whole day, you work the whole night, and then you work, 12 to 15 hours the next day, and then you finally go home, and then you sleep for a couple hours, and you go back and do it again. And I'm tough, and I can do that. But what I realized was I just didn't want to, right? I didn't.
Really? So you're not going to practice at all?
Well, I
No.
was actually at City of Hope for 11 years doing endocrinology research, which helped pay the bills until I was able to establish myself as a musician full time. But I was still touring and playing and recording the entire time I was at City of Hope. And then I finally quit in 2016. But being a researcher, you have a lot more free time than when you see patients.
Like,
So, yeah.
So you made it easy on yourself, and this way you could do both. Do both.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, what made you? What type of singing do you enjoy doing?
Well, my personal music, it's funny. I always used to think it was like Portishead, if you know the band Portishead.
Yes.
A lot of my fans have actually said that I sound like Portishead. But recently, I was on the radio on 94.5, and that DJ told me I sounded like Dido. He thought I sounded more pop and quiet. So that was interesting. I never thought of that, but it certainly, I can hear the resemblance now that he said it.
And who are some of your heroes of singing, and that you really enjoy?
My favorite band, flat out, is 9 Inch Nails. So he's like, Trent Reznor has a similar sort of thing to what I do. He's a single guy, but he has a front that's a band. And then he can have members sort of come and go depending on the project that's needed. But he's still like the mastermind behind everything. And that's how my project is set up in Love and War. I'm the only permanent member, but then I have, a drummer and a guitarist and a flautist and, whoever I need, they come in and out. And then I feel like it's easier to maintain consistency that way. But yeah, so 9 Inch Nails is my hero, absolutely. And then Depeche Mode is a close second. So it's kind of like electronic, industrial music. And then several trip-hop bands like Portishead and Massive Attack, and even like industrial, pop rock, sort of like Garbage. And then Tori Amos, Sarah McLachlan. It's a pretty wide range, and obviously I love classical music too, I'm primarily a violinist in LA.
I saw that, yes, a violinist. Because, well, I got to be honest with you, I never heard of these bands you're talking about.
Oh.
I'm into Pavarotti and Sinatra.
That's what, I love Pavarotti.
Miles Davis.
Josh Groban is a huge, I love him. I love his music, if you know him.
I'm mostly into jazz and opera. And,
okay. Those are great.
Yeah. I love your chair back there, the Italian chair you have back there with the Italian leather. I can see it behind you.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, that's a great chair. Very comfortable looking. So, are you on? How did the people hear your music?
Well, it's on all major platforms: Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube.
Really?
SoundCloud. Yep. Under the band name In Love and War.
In Love and War.
In Love and War. Yeah.
That's on YouTube.
Yeah, you can search it free on YouTube. I have several music videos. The main one has over 14,000 views so far. It was released last year.
Good for you.
We're completely independent. No record label or marketing or anything. So it's all self-promoted. So I'm delighted that anybody likes music at all and anyone's heard it.
Do you write your own music too?
Yeah, it's all original. It's all original.
Original. So.
And in fact, I was just going to say today, I'm shooting a music video tonight for an art gallery. And they actually asked me to compose an original instrumental soundtrack. And I just did the entire thing overnight. Like I just started yesterday and I finished it this morning and we're going to shoot it today.
Wow.
Yep.
And how do you shoot it? I mean,
Well, they're shooting it. It's a promotion for their gallery, Cakeland Art Gallery.
where are they located?
Downtown LA. I think it's near Chinatown. And they just wanted me to sort of feature the gallery by playing violin in it. But I had nothing to play, so they wanted me to play an original song. So I literally had to make a new song with a piano background and violin over it just for today. So I did that.
I see there's a husky behind you.
Yeah, that's Athena.
Yeah. Ah, look, a beautiful dog. Look at that face. Oh,
Thank you.
Come closer. That's a beautiful face. What a face on that dog. I love animals, but I never know where I'm going to be, so I don't have them anymore. You know, because you need. Here he comes. How old is he?
I'm not sure. She's a rescue. So
yes.
She's a rescue. Yeah. So I got her from the shelter in 2016. So she's at least 5, but I don't know. I think she probably was about a year when I got her.
Yeah, really? Well, it's good that you got it from the rescue.
Yeah.
More people should do that. If I ever had one, that's what I would do. I mean, I would like to get a parrot, but I'm getting too old. They live too long. Parrots, they live a long time.
They do live a long time. Yeah.
A friend of mine had one, and I really enjoyed it. He used to sit on my shoulder and peck on my ear. They were very, very affectionate, and they can be very mean too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very smart.
So what else do you do? Now, the violin, what got you? Was that a family? Did your family get you into that, or did you want to play the violin?
I actually started violin by myself. My family had started me on piano when I was 4.
Oh.
And then when I was 8, I had decided I wanted to do violin.
Oh.
And there was an orchestra at school, so I wanted to join. So they let me start taking private lessons, and it's been since then. And now it's
At 8, you changed your mind from piano to.
Well, I kept going to piano. I still did piano until I took formal lessons from 4 until age 17.
Really?
But then violin from 8 to 17.
Wow.
8 to 16. Yeah.
Now, were you born in America or?
Yeah, in Buffalo. That's where I went to University of Buffalo.
Cold up there.
Yeah, I was just thinking today it's like 85 in California. It's a little bit hot, so I'm missing the cold right now.
Yeah, it's cool. I was born in the Bronx, New York. So
yeah.
New York is in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo, New York. Mm-hmm. It gets cold up there.
I love it when it's cold. I miss New York sometimes. New York City, I've been to a zillion times.
She's very affectionate, your dog.
She's a little needy.
Jesse wants to come in and talk, I think. Okay. You're in. Just take off your. There's a dog again. She has a dog too.
Yeah.
Now, how are you two friends? Are you both in the music business?
I think she's a fan on Facebook. I'm not sure.
Oh. Yeah, I saw you did that. I didn't know how you could do that. I'm new on this. I'm just learning this myself, how to work all the Zoom and get it to go. I tried to get it to go live on Facebook. I hope it did. I don't know if it did. I pressed live, but it was on. It said live before, but it's not saying that now.
I have no idea.
But anyway, I'll put it up on Facebook later when I record.
Okay.
When I learned how to record. It goes on YouTube too.
That's great.
So that we can have it there for that. But
because I have some students now, because obviously the pandemic, I teach all my violin and piano students online as well.
Online?
And some of them are like 6 years old, and because they've gotten so accustomed to this format, they're much better at Zoom and FaceTime than I am or their parents are. It's so funny. Like they'll have an issue with the iPad and the parents are trying to fix it. And the kid is just like, oh, you just open this window and do this. And I'm like, you're 6. Like, how did you learn? When did you learn to do that?
It's true. I mean, you give a kid the computer and they don't know what to do. You're grown up, I don't know what to do with the things. You know, it's like crazy. So when you play the violin and the piano, what type of music do you play there? I mean, do you play the classics and?
Well,
like
I'm classically trained, of course, but I honestly got kind of bored of classical music around age 12. Basically, when I first heard Nine Inch Nails for the first time, I was like, oh my God, a whole world has opened up. So I started playing rock, and then pretty quickly after that, hip hop and pop. So in LA, I've played for numerous hip hop artists and pop artists, folk rock, straight rock. I hardly ever do classical anymore. This track that I just did was maybe the most classical I've played in a while, and I would still say it's more like almost like new age pop.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm just influenced by, the bands that you don't know that I already said, like sort of dark,
Right.
industrial electronic. So I end up playing stuff like that.
You said dark. I'm interested. Why? And what does that mean when you say dark? Is that like punk rock and how would you describe that?
Well, sure. Well, when I think of dark, it's kind of like angry or depressing music.
Yes, I was thinking that.
Yeah, like it's a little bit down tempo or
You don't look depressed or down.
Well, that's what I always say this. It's an interesting observation. I think I'm a really happy person.
Yes.
But, I get down and then I just listen to depressing music and then I feel better again. So
Really?
yeah.
So it works the opposite on you.
Totally, yeah. I don't really like bouncy, happy music. I mean, I listen to it too, of course, but my preference is for super emotional, dark, depressing music. Yeah.
It's like me. I have a cup of coffee to go to sleep.
Yeah.
I really do. I mean, the opposite.
I can do that too. It's a paradoxic effect.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, I have, because I was up all night with that track, so I haven't slept at all right now.
Really?
So, yeah, I'm going to have some coffee.
So you got the giddies and all of that going
A little bit. I gotta keep going. The music shoot isn't until 9 p.m., so it's like, 6 hours from now. I gotta try to keep it going.
Really?
Mm.
Wow. And now, do you do this on Zoom when you do the shoot, or do you go there?
No, today is the first music video shoot I've had in person since the pandemic started, so I'm pretty excited. It's socially distant. We're all wearing masks except for the actual shooting part, and it's like a fairly close set, just the camera person, the director, and me. So I feel safe. It should be fun. I'm excited. I used to shoot almost every week and play 5 or 6 days a week, and now, there's been nothing. So I'm pretty excited.
What about theater and things like that? I mean, do you ever try doing that, or writing music for the theater?
Oh, writing music for the theater. No, I actually haven't. I've never written for a play. I honestly don't think so. I've written for movies. I've done a couple movie soundtracks. I created some music for a commercial, a movie, and then one of my original songs got used on a movie.
Really?
But on the Goodbye Girl. But it's actually a British film it's been doing really well. It was independent. I think it was made for just £900. And the director managed to sweep the festivals and the awards. It's on Amazon now. I think he's doing really great. So I was pretty proud to be associated with that. But no, I've never actually directly written for a musical or a play. So I'd love to try that. That sounds fun.
Well, for the theater, I mean, for the movies, that's great that you had so you're really established. Your name is known out there then.
I don't know. I don't know about established, but I have some people who know me in LA, yeah, and like outside LA, a few people, but
But I mean, it sounds like it. I mean, you really have around. You're pretty. You know what you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's always a hustle that you just, when you're independent, you have to get the work wherever you can. So you just try to put out as many feelers and take advantage of as many opportunities as possible. So I'm fortunate that, people do reach out to me and ask me to help with stuff, and I'm always happy to do so. So I'm thrilled, and I feel very fortunate, honestly. So
And when you're writing, how do you get inspired? Or how do you work as a songwriter?
well, it depends if it's like, for example, like something totally instrumental, like last night, I just sort of tried to get into a particular mood. Like what they had asked for was something haunting, sad, and beautiful, which was, right up my alley. So I just kind of, meditated on that and just, played what I thought felt right. But when it's the In Love and War stuff, which is also lyrics and vocals, I generally, because I think I don't really like happy music, it's really difficult for me to write if I'm in a good mood, which is most of the time. So I just kind of have to wait until I'm really sad about something. And then the songs just pour out. Like I can't help it. Like much like when I listen to sad music and I feel better, when I write sad music, I feel better. It's kind of like a catharsis. So
I'm interested. Why do you feel better when you listen to sad music?
that's what I'm saying. I think it sort of manifests and personifies the feelings I have. And so in a way it helps release what I'm feeling from inside to the external world. And therefore it's released from me, I think. So I can identify with what I'm hearing, and then it relaxes me. And then for me, it's gone. Like it just leaves. So then I feel better. I don't really dwell or harbor it, I think.
It sounds like almost like therapy.
Yeah, totally. I have always believed in the parallels between medicine and music, that music is therapeutic for a lot of people. When you're angry and you put on your favorite song, you feel better. It's healing for your emotions and your soul. I really believe that.
Oh, I do. I listen to music when I'm rehearsing.
Okay.
When I'm rehearsing, especially in the theater. People know that I'm going to be up because they could hear Pavarotti or, something like that. And music just brings me into it. It's wonderful. The things that music does for you is unbelievable. So I understand what you're saying. It just releases all them things. When you're feeling terrible, all of a sudden, boom. Now I listen to some of the old timers that are not here anymore. Nancy Wilson singing and things like that. I mean, it's just you get sad, but it's so beautiful. That sound.
Totally.
Sound.
That's all I've ever really hoped for, was to create music that really moves people, right? Something that they can identify with and latch onto in their dark times, or even in their happy times. That I really just like making people feel better. So whether it was through medicine or through music,
I'm
that's
thinking that because studying medicine and working in hospitals, you must have a lot of sad thoughts, that you can rely on. And as an actor, and we say in the acting world, your pain is a gift. It's a gift. So all that pain that you saw in the hospital is your gift when you write songs and listen, because you can relate.
That's such a beautiful sentiment. I really think people who are creative, like artists, musicians, painters, actors, dancers, I think we all just feel emotions more acutely than the average person, I think probably is true. And in that experience, we're able to because we felt them, we have them as a reserve, as you've said, to tap into later, to evoke those same emotions during our performance, which is what causes other people to be moved.
Right.
people have said that I perform very emotionally, and that's what I was saying. I can rarely write unless it's actually motivated from a genuine place. Like, it's very difficult for me to just sit down in a room with 5 people and just come up with a sad song. Like, you know, I have to really, really feel it. So, but when I do feel it, and then I have to perform that song again later, I can recall what I felt at the time, and it's very real for me. So, and I think that comes out when I play, and I do feel that that's a gift, because, like, what are we doing if it's not reproducing emotions for everyone else to hear and feel?
Right. So once again, tell the audience out here where they can find your music.
Sure. So my band is called In Love and War, IN and War, and it's on Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, Apple Music, Deezer, all the major streaming platforms. There's a website where all the links are together, so it's easier to find, inloveandwarband.com, in love and spelled out warband.com. And I'm just releasing new music today. I mean, well, I made it, but I haven't, it's not being released yet. We're shooting the video today, so it'll be available soon. But that's going to be available under Koi ANUNTA, because it's just instrumental. So Koi ANUNTA is my name.
Now, Koi, what is that? Is there what does Koi mean?
Well, there's actually a pretty long story associated with that. I'll try to summarize. So I'm mixed Thai and Chinese by heritage. Like I said, I was born in New York, but my parents are mixed Thai and Chinese. And so there's this tradition in Thai families that when a baby is born, they name their child something very long, and then immediately upon birth, they give you a short nickname, just to confuse everything, basically. So I have a real legal name, and it's long, but my parents immediately named me Koi when I was born as my nickname. And in Thai, Koi means little finger. Like,
little finger.
Like pinky.
Pinky.
But, yeah. But I guess in Japanese it means love, and you know it's a beautiful fish too. So again, I was fortunate.
Fish, yes, I heard of it. Yes.
Yeah, so I'm glad it wasn't like a weird flounder or you know like.
Yeah, the koi fish. It sounds. I think that was it's a tropical fish, isn't it? Fresh water or.
I think they're freshwater. They live in ponds. You know, they're like big, giant, colorful goldfish, and people keep them in ponds at home.
Yeah, it's like a goldfish, isn't it? Bigger than a goldfish.
Big goldfish, like patches of color. But I don't know. I think they live in the wild, but I don't know for sure. I know they live in ponds at home.
Is that the one that you ever been to the Grove out here in LA? Is that what they have? You know, if you ever go by the fountain there.
Probably. I don't remember, but yeah, probably.
If they have koi fish in there. That's where I think I saw the name. They have it there. If next time you go to the Grove, go to the water fountain. And their water fountain is great. When they play music, it's the way the water goes. The water fountain follows the music. It's really interesting. Well, this has really been great, Koi. I'm going to put this up, and I hope you a lot of success. I'm so glad you came on.
I really appreciate your wanting to interview me. That was so.
I mean, you had this fascinating life. I mean, you're doing it all, from medicine to dark rock or punk rock, whatever they call it. I'll have to listen to it just so I have an idea what you're talking about. But I'd love to have you on again. Maybe you have some friends in music and talk about your music. It'd be great.
Great. Okay? Yeah. Fun people. Thank you.
Please, no, my pleasure. I mean, the audience likes to know about music. It's cool, you know, that's what it's all about, getting the word out there.
Well, like you're saying, I really think the parallels between acting and music are strong. Like
very strong. And I like what you said about how we feel. Because I notice actors, and you have to have, there has to be a different, when you're in the arts, whether you're a painter, a singer, an actor, musician, whatever you are, there has to be something more than the average person has. Because you're willing to go there.
Totally.
And allow it. You know, and allow that, it's that being naked. their
Totally.
feelings, you know.
You're so vulnerable.
Yes,
Most people are afraid, but I shouldn't say most. The average person is afraid to be stared at in public, or, to speak in public. And we're not only speaking in public, we're revealing these very personal, very vulnerable sides of ourselves in public.
you're right.
So to be motivated by such a force that is so powerful that we feel compelled to do that, I think that's a very important point to make
It
about,
is. It's
about our art.
it is. It's a very personal. We're out in the public, but yet it's very personal.
Yes, totally.
It's the best way that I can describe it. You know, it's a very personal, and most people in the arts, I find, are very shy off camera.
Yes, and that's the thing that especially musicians, I feel, are very, very introverted in general.
Yes.
Yet we can perform on stage.
Get off the stage, it's hard for me to talk.
Yeah.
You know, when I do theater, the worst part I find in theater is the curtain call, because then I'm exposed. Then I'm me, John Solari.
Exactly.
I'm not the character anymore.
The house lights come on, you see everyone, like, yeah, it's
Everybody,
totally.
no, oh God, what am I doing here? I get embarrassed. I want to run. I don't want to, it's because then it's me, and I don't want me. I think about it. You just made me think about that. What a wonderful thought. And yes, you're a gift, my lovely lady.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you again for having me on.
Oh, thank you. So I'm going to say goodnight and go do your work and enjoy life. Okay, my lovely?
All right. Bye.
Ciao. Here we go.